In today's economy, more people than ever are looking to buy and sell businesses. But how do you do it? Welcome to the Deal Board, presented by Transworld Business Advisors. Straight talk about real deals and real people. Listen to stories, interviews, and expert advice to help your business sale, merger, or acquisition process. Now, here are your business exit experts, Andy and JT.
Hey, welcome back, everybody. It is the Deal Board podcast, and we have a great episode for you today. I'm laughing already because it's so ridiculous that, I always talk about when people, today we're talking about selling your business without a broker, the pros and cons and steps in the process. And we often talk about people doing their own heart surgery. Yeah, that's right. I always laugh when I think of someone actually trying to cut themselves open to do their own surgery.
It's like the guy. It's like when you get the iron at the hotel, and it says, and don't iron while wearing. And like, did somebody do that? Like
somebody did that. Yeah,
that says that.
They had to make a label.
Yeah, you could do your own heart surgery, but it's not recommended.
Right. That's right. And you could sell your own business, but it's not recommended.
Thank you.
So you can sell it yourself.
Sure.
And it's so funny because every once in a while I get an email from one of our panicked agents or franchisees saying, have you seen this? People are going to be able to sell their business on their own. And I'm like, back in the day, people used to put in their own classified ads.
That's right.
And they used to try to sell their business themselves. And we had a program where we'd see that classified ad. We'd wait 2 weeks and then call them back because we knew it would be
how it was going. Or not.
We knew that like 2 weeks was enough time for them to get like hundreds of calls.
Right.
And realize that people are out of their minds.
Yeah, right. Because not every buyer is a buyer. It's you can sell it yourself, but there's a certain cost that comes with that. And I think that's one of the motivators for why people do look at it and go, well, I can sell it myself and I can save on the success fee. I can save on the commission.
Right.
Yeah, but at what cost? What cost to you, your family, your time, your sanity, trying to run through that process. So,
we tell people all the time, the most important thing you can do while selling your business is
keep running it.
Yeah.
And this is a full-time job selling a business.
Yes,
so you'd have 2 full-time jobs at that point.
I mean, so many people, even when we're involved sometimes, we have to yell at them to keep focusing on running their business because they think it's sold already and things start going down. And so
really what I hear you saying is while you're trying to do this yourself, you take your eye off the ball of running the business, which means your value is going down. So you think you're saving, but in the end, you're really costing yourself.
You're costing yourself.
Yeah.
So you can try to sell yourself. It's going to cost you. But the second thing that we always talk about is one of the number one reasons businesses do not sell is because they don't know how to price it.
Yeah, the value is off.
Yeah.
And so a buyer is going to see it. And, you can post the business for sale, like you said, on all these different places. You can go to Craigslist yourself. You can go to Biz by Sell yourself. We get a lot of folks who come to us after having been on Biz by Sell for a certain period of time.
Right.
They'll actually even call Biz by Sell and say, hey, this isn't working. Can you refer somebody to me? Or a lender will refer us to them because, just because you can doesn't mean you should type of thing.
Overpricing kills deals.
Right.
We have graphs showing that about 15% of an overpricing your business will actually cause you probably never to sell it.
It'll just sit there.
And this is all about timing too. I mean, deals are like fresh fish. And I think I said this on another podcast that they start that. I think I said stank. I don't know why I said stank, but they stink. And what happens is you may lose or miss on the best buyer.
Right. And you may get those buyers up front, but you don't know the process to run the buyer through. Like, for example, oftentimes you'll hear somebody say, well, I had these buyers call me. I have somebody lined up. Okay, well, what did they ask you for? Well, they asked me for the financials and I sent them. Do you know that buyer? Like, do you have a confidentiality agreement with that buyer? Do you have any kind of a profile from them, proof of funds? Do you know that they can actually buy the business? Or are you just sending out your tax returns and P&Ls to people because they expressed interest? That's probably not a wise move. And a broker is going to protect that interest on your behalf.
Yeah. The process is it's not especially difficult in understanding what has to happen, but all the intricacies inside of the process make it very difficult to get a buyer through all of them.
All of the gates. There's a lot of gates.
And buyers, like I sold my own business and I totally underpriced it. So first of all, we could go back to price for a second. I totally underpriced my own business.
Right.
It was making about $50,000 and I sold it for $65,000. That wasn't a good deal for me.
No.
I didn't know any better.
Right.
The other thing is I had a deal for $75,000 with this buyer. I got the buyer in March. We didn't close till July.
Okay.
Because I didn't know better.
Right.
And 3 days before the closing, they called to retrade the deal.
Oh, they lowered the price on
and
you.
they lowered the price on it. But I didn't have
at that point you're tired. You just like get it done.
And that's what happens to these sellers. You think you have under control, and then all of a sudden you get that dream that you got a deal, you got the buyer, and they could waste months in conversations,
right,
and they will wear you down,
right.
And then at the last minute, you get a big price change.
Right. And then you have a decision to make, and it's usually not a good one.
No, it's not a good one.
Or you could be upset, you just walk away. They got to start the process all over again. Whereas if you had someone representing you, they would have been engaging those other people just in case that did happen. So, but more than likely, they would help you save the deal. In business brokerage, we say that every deal dies
3 times.
At least 3 times.
At least 3 times.
Yes.
And we know when a deal's dead, and we know when a deal is just
can be resuscitated
and resuscitated. Yeah. And people, a lot of times people just need time. They need the time to understand that things are going to cost more than they should, or they're going to have to sign personally on an SBA loan, or the landlord's going to need them to put down a $50,000 6-month deposit.
Key money on the space. Right.
There's all kinds of things that happen that the buyers have to kind of, get over.
Right.
And so,
but as a seller, you're not going to know those things. And so you're not going to be prepared for them. And you're not going to be able to maybe bring that buyer back to the table when they're getting surprised or you're getting surprised. And an intermediary can help soften that.
And it's funny because so many deals, I don't care what the price is. It could be 50,000. It could be 50 million. For most sellers, that is a huge consequential moment in their lives.
Right.
Whether they're getting out of a lease because they're underwater and they're selling off the assets at $50,000 and they're burning through $10,000 a month, or it's a life-changing event where they're getting $50 million. Either way, you can't think straight.
Right.
And you need that person to help you get through the deal.
Somebody who's objective. Yeah. They're looking at it differently than
And speaking of getting through deals,
we have a deal of the week.
We do have a deal of the week.
Let's go take a look at that, and then we'll be right back.
At Transworld Business Advisors, we help entrepreneurs buy and sell businesses every day with over 1,000 expert brokers around the world. Want to learn how it works? Head to tworld.com or give us a call at 800-205-7605.
Hey, Andy, do you know what time it is?
What time?
It's time for Deal of the Week.
Ring the bell.
Hi, my name's Ryan Mortensen, and I'm a business broker out of Austin, Texas with Transworld Business Advisors. And recently I closed a really magnificent deal that I'm really proud of. I sold an excavation company that had its name called Rotten Apple. It was a great name that the seller wanted to make sure that he had something that was easy for customers to remember. And it definitely did a good job at that. What's a great story about the seller is that he was an immigrant from Mexico who became an American citizen and worked on a ranch that sold exotic deers. Over the years, he worked his way up to the head rancher. And then a nearby ranch, a neighbor, asked if he could do some work on his ranch. And instead of deering, but he asked if he could do some land clearing to create a little space and create a little road. Well, the seller decided to do that side work and did such an amazing job that the next door neighbor highly suggested to the seller that he should create his own business and start being a land clearing and excavation business, which in 2019, he decided to take the leap of faith as an entrepreneur and purchase his first mulching machine to take down trees. So he started that business and was working it on doing 2 jobs, working on the ranch and also doing excavation work on the side. Eventually he hired his first employee who's still with him today. He's up to 5 employees now, and he specializes in making ponds on ranches here in Texas, beautiful ponds, land clearing, putting in roads, mulching down trees. And he's built a good reputation. He gets most of his business from referrals. So I listed his business. He came to me as a referral, and I listed his business 10 months ago. We had a lot of interest. His SDE was over 800,000, but in 2025, he actually reached peak over 800,000 SDE to $1 million. We ended up going to market at $3.1 million and sold it there to a man in Austin who's a retired military man who has a family with kids and wanted to create a business where he could be outdoors, servicing the community, and have something that longevity where his children could also work in the business. Overall, the deal took 10 months to close. Once under LOI, took about 48 days. We went through an SBA with Bankwells, and that was a very smooth, easy transition with the bank into the SBA funding. Overall, the deal was a great deal with both the buyer and seller being extremely happy working together. The transition is already taking place, and it was a great deal overall. I'm really happy to have helped the seller and the buyer come together, find a good negotiated price, and help them through the process with the SBA. Overall, it was a great deal, and I'm very happy that it happened.
Well, welcome back from the deal of the week here at the Deal Board. And Andy, that was a really good deal of the week.
It was. And, we talk about this all the time about getting through deals. And part of the biggest reason why you want to hire a broker, other than getting the price right, other than trying to get through all the pitfalls through the process, understanding valuation, is confidentiality.
So you got pricing and the value up front, then you got vetting of the buyers as the second piece. That confidentiality, why do you think that's so important to a business seller?
Well, it's risk. It's risk aversion. Having vendors that give you terms,
right? Having
competitors that are always trying to steal your clients, having customers that expect you to be there the next day, employees that are scared for their jobs.
Of the deal, right? Exactly.
Right. If one leak gets out, it could be devastating.
Right. So all of a sudden that does get out, and then a key employee leaves, or the vendor goes, "Oh, wait a second, I got to put that new guy on COD because I don't know who he is. He doesn't have credit with me." Now the buyer backs.
Yeah.
Okay.
And the buyer backs, or the employee's back, or something, a piece of your business leaves that you either have to replace or recover from, or or at worst, you might not have a business left. So a broker, even if the confidentiality somehow gets breached, we have ways of making people feel better about the process.
Yeah, you're the third party. You're the psychoanalyst. You're the psychiatrist. You're the therapist. You're all those things to everybody in the equation. And it's interesting, because the buyers are going to make requests to you as a seller that you may not know when to say no to.
Right.
Like, I want to meet all the people. No, we're not meeting all the people until this thing is closed because of what you just said earlier.
Yeah.
Confidentially gets out. Somebody leaves, and all of a sudden the buyer's like, well, if they left, I'm not buying this thing anymore. And now the buyer's gone and your key person's gone, and you're stuck trying to pick up the pieces.
I want to talk to the top suppliers. I want to talk to the top customers.
Right. Or you're sending the customers.
No.
And one of the things that you see too is we go back to the buyers aren't all buyers. How do you know it's not a competitor shopping you?
Yeah.
They could be sending in their brother-in-law, their sister, their uncle, their friend, whatever, to go take a look at this thing and tell me what you find. And you're just showing them everything, opening up the vest. That's not a good position to be in as the seller.
Yeah, no. So, you definitely confidentiality and knowing when to give the right type of confidential information to a buyer because you're going to have to give them some things for them to get loans and things like that. So
you're going to have to do two things. You're going to have to first give them enough information up front to get them interested enough to want to go for put an offer on the business. And then when you've accepted that offer, which could be a lot of negotiation that you're not prepared to do, then they're going to go through a whole due diligence phase. Now you do have a second full-time job.
Yeah, you do.
Okay. And are you prepared for that? Did you get everything lined up and put it in a secure place where they can access it? Your intermediary is going to do that for you.
Yeah.
And even then, deals can fall apart.
Yeah. I mean, this is really why you want an intermediary. It's not necessarily to set your business up for sale. It's not even sometimes to find the buyer, because a lot of us sellers find the buyer, but we like to talk about the fishing trip, right? So the key to having a successful fishing trip is not hooking a fish.
Getting it in the boat.
Now you have a fish hooked. You're 300 feet down. You're,
fighting.
You're 200 yards away from the boat, and now you got to have the skill and the care and the experience to get that in the boat.
Yes.
And then we always say, not only do you need to get it in the boat, you need to be able to clean the fish.
You got to gut it, clean it.
And you need to bring it to the chef, and you need to make it so it tastes good. So there's a whole process in there that at any step of the way, something disastrous can happen. And unless you have the experience like we do to save it at the last minute, you could do
all that work.
Months and tens of thousands of dollars worth of work, all for naught.
Right. So one of the words I think you left out in there too is stamina.
Yeah.
Because this is a process. And even when you have someone guiding you through the process, there's such a thing as deal fatigue.
Oh.
And the buyer gets worn out, the seller gets worn out, and the broker, the intermediary, is like the dealer of hope going, no, we're almost there. Stick with it. One more thing we have to get done. Let's do this. You're 2 weeks away from closing. Don't give up yet. But if you don't have like that coach on the sidelines encouraging you to keep going, it's like my wife ran a marathon, and I know that everybody starts the marathon together,
right?
But in the end, you're kind of running by yourself. And I was there for the last mile and a half running with her because I couldn't run the whole darn marathon myself, right? And I'm like, you can do it, honey. And at one point, she just said, just shut up and let me finish running because I thought I was helping her. I probably really wasn't.
Yeah.
Yes.
I think it's hard for, we go to a closing table. I've been to many, many closing tables. And even these days, most things are done virtually. It's usually not a high five event with everybody. Everybody is like tired.
Yes, right.
Everybody has been through the process. Everybody there's definite fatigue in there. And getting people, when things are unraveling, to the closing table, especially in the last 36, 48 hours, this. We're on the phone at night. We're chasing down landlords. We're chasing down bankers. We're chasing down underwriters. We're chasing down wires. Right. We're making sure wires are
everything ready.
Yeah, is everything ready to go? We're chasing down attorneys and yelling at attorneys, no, you can't have that. We're chasing down insurance providers
to make sure
whether there's a general liability or workers' comp or
life insurance, key man insurance.
Key man insurance. Yeah, there's all these things that go into getting a deal done that is, just looking at this whole episode saying somebody would be crazy to try to sell the number one asset in your life by yourself.
That's really going to help probably transition you into the next chapter of life.
Yeah.
Don't go that alone. That's not a journey to take.
Don't do that. I did it myself alone one time, and I would never do it again.
Well, that's why we exist.
Yeah.
Yeah. Most people don't know they need us until they need us.
That's
right. Right. And speaking of that, we do have a great
listing of the week.
So if you're a buyer and you're looking at a new opportunity, you want to find the right fit for you, pay attention to this listing of the week.
Hey, JT, do you know what time it is?
Money time?
Almost. It's time for listing of the week.
Hey, everybody. Mike Shea, Transworld Business Advisors. I just listed a new pizza parlor in Tampa Bay, Pinellas County. Really nice operation, consistently doing $980,000, $990,000 in revenue. Perfect operation for a family. It is a franchise brand, local brand, very strong reputation, as is evidenced by the numbers, $980,000, $990,000 revenue. So that brand's got some local flavor and some love from the local community. Well-run operation, but really needs a good operator to step in there. I can't tell you how attractive the plaza is. It's really rent for such a pretty plaza, high road frontage and great parking. Has a little bit of sit down, but the majority of the sales are takeout. Give me a call at 321-287-0349 or email me at mike@tworld.com.
All right. That was a great listing of the week. And it shows you why we package things up and have them ready to sell. And that's the great thing for you buyers out there. Just to flip it around, we could talk about this on the next episode. Having buyers buy a business directly from a seller is very difficult too. So listen to this episode, folks. And
you want somebody on both sides supporting you and helping you get the deal across the line. That's what we do. Good deals.
Good people.
Thanks for being here.
Thanks for tuning in to the show today. If you like the podcast, share it with your friends on social media. And don't forget to subscribe and leave us a review on your favorite podcasting app. If you have questions, would like to appear, or have suggestions for topics for the show, get in contact with us through our website, thedealboardpodcast.com.